Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the Ekasi Esports YouTube channel. I am your host today, Perfect Zikali, and today we'll be going at it again in the second week of the Ekasi Esports chess series powered by Vodacom. Vodacom World. And yeah, so today we are set to have the games going on for week 2, and we shall see who will take that number 1 spot, taking home 400 rands in cash, number 2 taking home 200 rands in cash, and number 3 taking home 150. Well, today it seems like I'll be riding solo for the time being. My partner is having a bit of technical issues, so we've been trying to solve them in the background, but the show must go on. As we say most of the time, the show must go on. I'm looking here at the player list, and the players are almost set to go live. We are left with just 2 minutes on the clock for the games to go live. And yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to interact with us, chat with us, post up, be active on the comments, say hi, say whatever. And I already see that you guys already said a couple of things. Hey, Rainier, hey, what's up? Who else? I can see you're showing love on the stream. I can also see Russell, you're asking what are the ratings of these chess players. Well, we weren't strict with the ratings of the chess players. It's open to everybody. So whatever your rating is, whether it's 1, I don't know if it can go as low as 1, but whether your rating is 1 or whether your rating is 10,000, you can join and participate in the Ekasi Esports chess series. But obviously during the Swiss tournament, the pairings will be dependent on how many matches you win and how many matches you lose. But yeah, so just to give you guys an explanation for what's happening today, if you're new here, this is the Ekasi Esports chess series, as I said before, powered by Vodacom World. And today we'll be having 32 players battling it out on the board, fighting for that number 1 spot to take home 400 rands in cash. So there will be a person today who's going to take home 400 rands in cash, and number 2 will take home 200 rands in cash, and number 3 will take home 150 rands in cash. The top 8 as well are not going to be left out. They will qualify for the playoffs of the Ekasi Esports chess series, which will happen after the 8 weekly leagues of the Ekasi Esports chess series. So far, we're in week 2. If you haven't seen by the title or description, we're in week 2 of the Ekasi Esports chess series. Next week will be week 3, so we'll have 8 weeks of these, and you guys are welcome to register if you'd like to participate. Just head over to the Ekasi Esports website and go to the Ekasi Esports tournament page, which is at www.ekasiesports.africa/chess/chess-series. The link will be in the description in case I butchered it in any way. But yeah, I think we are about to go live. I'm just checking if all the players are ready and set. Yeah, and the tournament should be live any minute now. And yeah, we are live. So all games will start at 3:15 on Sunday. So we're just going to switch over to the games. Let me see. If we can get cool. Oh, as you can see from the top, we're still waiting for him. His screen is still grayed out for the time being, but I'll try to do a good job to keep you guys entertained, and at the same time I'll just try to just to provide that entertainment for you guys. But yeah, so the first match, so all matches are happening concurrently. So right now we're just going to be tuning into the match between Magano, I think that's Grandmaster H Magano, who has a rating of 1099. He'll be going up against Guili, who has a chess rating of just over 2000. So yeah, so the matches are underway. So as you can see, Guili with the white pieces, and Grandmaster Magano is with the black pieces. And just from a first sight view, we can see that white has already his white square bishop out in the match. Black has his black knight out, and it also has advanced really deep into white's position. But black is still yet to develop his black square and white square bishop, which are still in their original positions. But looking at white's position, he still has his knight and bishop also still like in the original position. So both sides are still underdeveloped, but you can see that black is aggressing onto the center, already taking control of the center, with that d5 pawn controlling the squares c4 and e4, which e4 is now currently occupied by the black knight. So yeah, so let me just double check with my partner here. Is he in game? So yeah. So yeah, this seems to be a very slow game. Both sides are patiently building up their game. And we shall see what happens. But I guess we can just switch over to another match and see if there's any action happening. So here we have we actually have a highly rated player. We have who do we have? We have Liquisans and Rebecca. Yeah, Becca Joy. Becca Joy. Becca Joy, who's rated 1800, and we have Lucas Sands, who's rated 1037. And looking at both positions, black still is yet to castle. White just castled kingside, and black is still yet to castle and still yet to it's still yet to develop his. Black is still yet to develop her black square bishop and castle. But so far she only has the knight in the game, and also she's also like advancing really strong. She's putting more pressure onto the center, with her two pawns, both d5 and c5, taking control of the center, making sure that she has a better position. And white, I guess, will just try to destroy that center bit by bit, but he Likusans, yeah, he doesn't have any presence much besides that e5 pawn on the e5 square. So yeah, so black has developed their bishop, and I'm sure will look to castle anytime soon, just to make sure that her position is solid and is firm and can get ready for the attack. Because this looks like it's going to go all the way to the end game, where this might be a pawn game. And if that happens, black is at a better position, because she already has her pawns. She can connect all her pawns and aggress onto the center. And white is in a pickle. White might be in a pickle if white doesn't play this match. Doesn't play this match to perfection. But yeah, so I guess we can. So we'll come back to Rebecca and Liquisans. I guess we can jump into taps. And yes, sir. So yeah. So now here we have taps and yes, sir. Yeah, AP, yes, sir. So AP, yes, sir, is with the black pieces, and taps junior is with the white pieces. Currently white is up by 1 point. I think is up a pawn, and but also looking at white's position, white decides to castle queenside. I guess and it also seems to have all his forces attacking the king side of black. And yeah, white seems to be aggressing onto the king side, and as you can see, he has pushed up his h pawn. He has pushed up his h pawn all the way to h6, which is very much in black's territory. So yeah, but I guess also black is trying to retaliate with that, but it seems like white is immediately threatening the checkmate on g7. Will black have a response? I guess the best response here is to bring in the queen into the game, just to help support that, just to prevent that that checkmate. And APS, so it does seem to recognize that, and it's not going to give white the chance just to end the game that easily. So yeah, I guess we just see, does white continue attacking on the king side, or does white retaliate and just like build up his attack a bit further and strengthen it up? But yeah, so I guess we will see as the game continues. But for now, we'll just switch over to another game. Well, there's a lot of games that we have to get through, but we'll just get through as the ones that we can, and just to analyze and see how their positions are. But wait, before we do that, I just want to see what happens here. White just exchanged queens, so I guess white might be might be taking this game all the way. I guess he'll take his time to play this game, because I guess if white decides to keep his queen, then I guess he could have like tried to force black into a tight spot. But I guess by exchanging queens, I guess he's saying that, okay, cool, I'll take my time with this. I just want to get rid of the queens, because the queens are a problem. The queens can turn the game upside down, even if you're up in position, or even if you're up in points. And as we can see, white is up with 1 pawn, but then obviously black is going to take back that 2 pawn advantage and just reduce it to 1. So yeah, so I guess we'll be back as these guys are playing, and as they are as they're developing their game. I guess we'll be back and we'll check out their game. Yeah, and in this fourth game that we have here, we have Martin against Lazy Cash. Well, these guys played last week, which is a funny story. These guys had a match last week, so this seems like another rematch. So Martin and Lazy Cash were both tied for third spots in last week's chess series chess series week, and Martin unfortunately lost the tiebreaker, and Lazy Cash took the third spot, which earned him which made him take home also the 150 rands in cash from the chess series. But yeah, looking at this position, black seems to be in a much more safer position. I'm looking at white. White's king is already in the game. He's pushing up, and so just looking at the pieces, black has four of his pawns on the king side that, well, they're still like connected to each other, so he could like just go for a king side pawn attack, while white has his pawns has 2 of his pawns on the queen side, which he might also look to progress and try to get a queen or force an exchange of the castles later on. So this is gonna end up being a very, very interesting endgame for both sides, and it seems pretty even at the moment. White just having that slight advantage, also as indicated by the advantage bar, as you can see on your left side. So yeah, and I'm looking at the comments. You guys are commenting on Rebecca's game. Yeah, Rebecca is a highly rated. Well, obviously the first matches will be very in terms of the skill gap and also the ratings according to the chess.com app. The pairings will be very unfair, I guess, because the strongest players rating wise will battle the weakest players. Well, that seems to have been the trend. That's also what happened last week. We in the first round, the powerful players went up against the weakest players, and then but luckily like just to give you guys context of what's happening, it's a 3-round Swiss tournament, so 3 rounds will be played, so each participant will play 3 rounds. So this is a non-elimination tournament this week, so no one gets eliminated. Everyone plays 3 matches, and the person with the most wins unless people are tied, and then they'll have to play a tiebreaker just to fight for that number 1 spot. But yeah, I guess we can just look, and yeah, black has taken the victory, so Lazy Cash wins again. So I guess this puts Lazy Cash 2-1 against Martin specifically, so he wins again. So I just want to jump back to Rebecca's match and just see what's been happening. And looking at this, black's position looks very, very strong, very, very strong. He still has the pawns, has 2 of the black pawns connected onto the center, and could look to progress them, obviously with the assistance of the king, and the a2 rook on the black side is also applying a bit of pressure onto that bishop, which the pawn on d4 has made immobile. At this point, the rook is the only thing that's keeping that black square bishop alive. So I am very curious to see how this ends and how this develops further, because white is in a pickle. White is in a tied pickle, and black just adding more pressure onto that rook, just kicking the rook away. Probably the rook will look to play d2 just to at least take it out of that threat, and also keep on providing support to the black square bishop. But I'm pretty sure that black might retaliate with the g5 push with the bishop applying just a bit more pressure onto that rook, which will eventually force it down, because the squares are numbered for white's rook, and seems like white retaliates with the check, and black just simply tucks the king away, which I feel like that's it's a desperate move from white, because the black square bishop is is almost a goner, but is almost a goner. Not definitely a goner, but can still move into the c3 square just to escape that danger zone. But obviously that will cause black to further progress his pawn onto d2, getting closer to promoting. Probably, I guess we might see a promotion happening. But yeah, so this seems to be a game that's gonna go on for a minute. But yeah, so far we only have 5 games going on. The other games are over. I think, yeah, the other games are over, so we still have 5 games happening. So I guess we can just switch to we can come back to Taps Junior against Yes Sir. And looking at this, Taps Junior seems to have increased his advantage, and as you can see, yeah, black is practically dead at this point. Black is at black's mercy. I guess this is a mate in 2. This is pretty much a tough position for black. So yeah, this is so I guess just move the rook all the way to the left. Oh no, I don't like that move by white, because that could potentially lead to a stalemate. But obviously black still has the black pawns, so luckily for white, black still has those pawns, so it's not a stalemate yet. But I'd prefer just moving the rook all the way to the left and then just mate him in just 2 moves. But I don't know, maybe white is still stuck trying to figure out how to end this game. But yeah, that's it. Checkmate. And we still have 4 games happening, so we'll go on to Mgwili, MG Willie. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but yeah, against Grandmaster Makano. This is both positions are still tight. The clock is running out on both sides. Both are sitting on just above 2 minutes 30 seconds. But looking at the position, white seems to have the advantage, well, as indicated by the advantage bar on the left side of the screen. But if you look at that B file, black has really pushed that pawn into white's territory, and it's just one move away from, well, not one move away from, but it's just only one step away from promoting, which obviously will force an exchange if white decides to move that white rook. But now white has retaliated by further threatening that black square pawn, which I guess will force an exchange of pawns here, as black moved his rook onto b3, obviously attacking the a3 pawn, looking to go for the exchange just to keep that advantage. Yeah, and now that has but now with that exchange, that has helped white connect his rooks, and is now, I guess, further threatening black's, or was threatening black's queen. Yeah, so I guess we shall see how this one ends. This is going to be a slow game, so I guess we'll come back maybe when it's 1 minute in, because that's when the games will get exciting, because now we're going to try to, the pressure of the time might force a blunder on both sides, or on one of the sides. So we'll just see how this game further develops as we move forward. But let's move into a match which is between Calvin and Milune. Milune, another contender who was present in week 1 of the Ekasi Esports chess series. And by the looks of it, it seems that black has the advantage. Black has the 4-piece advantage, the 4-point advantage. He's up. It seems black is up 4 pawns. He's up a rook. Apologies. Black is up a rook. And I guess he's further trying to, fight for those exchanges on, I guess in this position, you just fight for the exchange and just try to minimize the number of pieces on the board just to avoid the upset coming from white. But so far the advantage bar is also still on black side. And I guess what will happen on, oh my god, white has just is going for the exchange of the queens. I'm not sure if that's the best move for white, because if you are down, especially if you're down a rook or something, or you're down in position wise, I wouldn't suggest exchanging queens. I know that simplifies the position, But exchanging queens, which has been denied, exchanging queens is not the best move because at least the queen can still help turn the game around. But if you exchange your queen, then you have nothing to further support you. And now white just seems to be going in for the attack, and now has gone in for the fork, forking both the king, the bishop, and the rook. So yeah, black should have taken those queens because this could have avoided all this, and now this helps even out the position. So I guess white decided to go for the bishop instead of the rook. That's an interesting move by white. I don't know if that was a mistouch. It couldn't be a mistouch because the pieces are like very spread apart. But I feel like if white had taken that rook, it would have helped even out the position a bit more. But yeah, black doesn't seem to care for now. He's just going in for the kill. But yeah, so white wins the time. Oh, I guess we didn't also pay attention to the time. But yeah, black has won to time, and I think we only have 3 games left happening. So I guess we'll just jump into Magano again against Mkwili, and it seems like also Mkwili wins with time. I guess it's going to be a lot of timeout games. The competition does seem to be pretty tight this week. It's not like last week where we had like whitewashes, or we had like a very obvious winner in some of the matches. But yeah, and I guess the last match of the first round of this week is against Rebecca against Liquisands. Looking at black's position, black is up a piece, is up by 1 point. But looking at the board, black has a rook present and 2 pawns, while white only has 2 pawns and a black square bishop, which I guess in this position I would give the advantage to black, because the rook is a bit more versatile than the black square bishop. And just also like looking at as you can see, the the rook is causing havoc on that end. And I guess black might try to promote that that pawn on the d-file, just to end the game completely. And as you can see, the black king further supporting. And yeah, I think this is pretty much over. There's a couple of seconds left on the clock, so we'll see who will take this one. The clock is ticking. Both have like about 11 seconds on the clock. Will black checkmate white in time? And it does seem that will happen because black is boxing white in. Well, that's the move that you should do. Just box when you're down, when you only have the king and the queen, and the opponent has only a king left. Just try to box him into that corner and just mate him. 2 seconds left on the clock. Will black do it in time? 1 second left and mate. Black takes it home, and that puts Rebecca on 1 point. And I guess we might be going underway into the second round because that was the last game of the first round of the Swiss tournament. So now we'll be going into round 2. So I guess this will be the winners against the winners and the losers against the losers. I'm not sure if I got the system correct, but I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be, if the matches weren't as intense already, they are gonna be still intense. So just make sure that you guys stay tuned and see what happens in the second round of the game, in the second round of the tournament. So we're just waiting for everyone to go on, and yeah, the games are live. So actually, I want to jump on to Sully. Sully was here last week. He was actually a contender of first place, but unfortunately caused a stalemate in his final round that ended up making him fall into second position. And arguably he could have fought for that top spot if it wasn't for that stalemate draw. But yeah, I guess we can jump into his second round match, and I just want to look at the standings here, just to see where Sully is, and how many wins Sully is sitting on. And by the looks here, Sully did win his first round, and will probably be looking to might be also looking into winning his second round, so at least he stays as a contender of the winner of the second week of the chess series. But it won't be an easy job for him as he's going up against Mkwili, who did win the first round. I think he won with time in the first round. He had a very tight game, and it seems like he plays a very patient game. He likes developing his pieces, and also taking his time, to develop his game. But also looking at both sides, Black has developed both of his knights, and also like has just developed his black square bishop, bring the bishop into the game, and also eyeing down that bishop on f4. While White has developed both his bishops, and then immediately goes for the exchange, and that also brings in the black queen into the game as well. Black might also probably look to castle, as White just castled, and yeah, I guess the game is almost, both sides are fairly developed at this point, and they're pretty even. Nothing is really putting either of them a bit further ahead. But yeah, but White has developed all of his minor pieces. Might be also looking to bring the queen to the action, connecting both of his rooks, as White moves into the e2 square. But yeah, and I guess Black is just moving his pawns on the h and a file. I guess just preventing the threat of pinning or just threatening his knights with the bishops or with the queen, and just like preventing anything just getting jumping onto those b5 and g5 squares, because not everyone likes those moves. I also used to hate those moves back in the day when I used to play chess. But yeah, so yeah, Black is further pushing his pawns on the queen side. I don't know if we're going to see a queen side attack from from Black, maybe to just destroy Black's queen side, and maybe look into having a strong position that side. But I guess we shall see as it continues. But yeah, I guess we can jump into another game. I think we can jump into Tabs Jr.'s game. Tabs Jr. is going up against YSF 548. By the looks of it, on the standings, YSF did win his first game, and Tabs also won his first game. So this is winner versus winner from the first round. And looking at this, Black immediately has the advantage, also as indicated by the black bar on the left. As you can see, it's going crazy, and it's just saying, no, Black has the advantage. And just also looking here position-wise, Black is deep into White's territory and is aggressively, attacking the White side, and is also up by 5 points. And now, yeah, it's pretty tight. It's a very tight position. I think Black might also look into pin that rook along with the black square bishop, but I guess he just decides to go for developing his white square bishop and also eyeing down that a1 pawn, and also that allows White to exchange those black square bishops, which the black's black square bishop might have been a huge threat if Black had decided to pin down that rook on d2. As you can see, it's standing in front, and it's the only thing protecting the king from the queen. It's the only thing standing in the way between the king and the queen. And Black retaliates, moving his queen back. I guess maybe we'll just like decide to strengthen his position. Black might look to strengthening his position, and maybe building up a better attack to go in with. And both sides are just like destroying both queen. I don't think. This is a tough spot for. This is very tough for White. I think this might be GG's anytime soon. White is at Black's mercy, and I guess White did the right things. Resigned, showing respect to Black, and be like, okay, you're the better man here. You'll take the win. You will take the win. And it's just basic chess principles. If you see that the game is over, instead of stringing it along and hoping to win with time or something like that, if you're obviously playing someone who knows what they're doing, you don't want to do that, because that's a bit like it's a bit disrespectful. I've spoken to a couple of very good chess players in the past, and they say it's a bit disrespectful when a player who's losing decides to string along the match, because for them it just feels like it's a waste of their own time. And we just switched back to Mguili's match and Suli's match, who we covered as the first match in the second round. And when we left this game, it was very tight, and it seems to be still tight. It seems to be just as tight. So I guess we shall see what is happening. Let's just see. Yeah, so yeah, this just seems to be very very tight on both sides. I think yeah, I think this game will just have to let go, just let it mature, let it mature with time, and probably will come back when it's still sweet, when it's sweet. Because here we want action, we want to see the action happening. So let's just switch over to Calvin's match against Rebecca. Rebecca, who won her last match, like who was playing the final match of the first round, and she won with just only 2 seconds to spare. It just getting that checkmate on time. But yeah, looking at the advantage bar again on the left, it does seem to be onto White's favor because that bar is almost completely white. It's almost completely white. And by looking also at the position, uh, White seems to be up, or it seems to be up a knight. Yeah, seems to be up a knight, and yeah, while Black does still have both of his bishops, and I feel like if Black could utilize his bishops in a better manner, it could try to help even things out, even though Black is down a knight. But I think here the only disadvantage is that the white square bishop on Black side is is blocked, is almost immobile. It only has that c8 square to move, and it's practically there's nothing going on that side. But yeah, I just feel like Black should make way for that white square bishop to get into the action and at least have an active piece on the board. But yeah, so both sides just have exchanged the bishops, which now puts White at which still puts White at the advantage. He still has two knights which are very active in the game, while Black only has a white square bishop which is stuck there on the queen side, in between the rook and that c6 pawn, forcing it to be immobile. And also there's another pawn on the a6 square which is also boxing in the bishop, which is, yeah, if you're down a piece, especially a minor piece, you want to make sure that you're utilizing all your pieces just to at least gain back that advantage, or at least to help better your position, even if you're down a piece. But yeah, it seems like this game is not yet concluded. I'm not counting Black out. Anything could happen. This is chess. White could blunder, which I don't expect White to blunder. Because she Rebecca does seem to have a good rating. So yeah, I'm pretty sure White won't blunder, but you never know. Anything could happen. But yeah, I guess we can just jump into this match here, which is Lazy Cash against GS Payne. GS Payne being the winner of the first week of the chess series, and also might look into winning this week's match. Also might look into winning this week's series. And looking at the advantage bar, Black does seem to have the advantage, and also does seem to be up a knight, or up a bishop. Sorry, Black does seem to be up a bishop, and also has both of his two bishops in the game, while White only has the knight, which is very, very, very tough. Which is very tough for White to fight this. Even though both sides still have the queen, Black's queen does seem to be the most active. I guess the queen on the white side is just standing next to her queen, just making sure that she's there in case anything happens. But yeah, Black does seem to be pushing more on the king side, going probably for a king side attack. As we can see that White has tucked in the king there, hoping that it will keep it safe for the time being. And White has pushed up his pawn, forking both the bishop on d5 and the queen, which will try to help balance things out. And and if that happens, because I guess Black will try to, White will try to at least even out things by taking that white square bishop, leaving Black with that black square bishop. And if that happens, then I think I would give the advantage to White, because in terms of mobility sake, the knight does have more. I guess, yeah. In my own personally, I would give the advantage to White, because the White does have a better chance of fighting, has a better fighting chance than just one black square bishop. But also we can note that the most powerful bishop on black side is the black square bishop, which he will still keep in on his side. But I guess we shall see how this game develops further and further on. But yeah, I think we can just jump into another game in the at the time being. Let's just see, who do we have left. We still have a lot of games going on. I think this is very tight because, as I did say, the winners are playing against the winners, so it's the high rated players against the high rated players, which then causes both sides both sides to be evenly matched. But also looking at this, black. Oh, black is going further in for the kill. It might seem like black did give up that bishop, but nah, that just helps get the queen away, using that piece as bait just to bring in the black square bishop into the king side, and also bring in the queen furthermore into the king side. White is at black's mercy at this point, and GSP might look into just ending this anytime soon. But yeah, I guess we'll be back in a second. I just want to check out how Martin is doing. Martin, like I said, Martin being fourth place in last week's chess series, might also look to at least get himself higher in the ranks, at least get closer to a cash prize position, either first, second, or third. But yeah. So yeah, looking at both positions, white is down. Looking at white's time, white is down to 2 minutes, but black still has just above 4 minutes and 40 seconds. But white does seem to have the advantage position wise, and also looking at the pieces, white still is up. Yeah, white is up, and white is up a rook. White is up a rook. But yeah, and the advantage bar is just is on white side. So yeah, but this does seem to be a tight match. So if white doesn't know how to conclude this, or at least to attack and try to end this, black might look to making a comeback into this match. But yeah, I feel like black does have a chance because he still has both of his knights in the game, but while white only has one knight, and those minor pieces are a pain. Especially if you're playing against someone who knows how to use them and utilize them to their fullest. So white just has to make sure that he plays his game very, very, very well. And as I said, it seems like white doesn't really know how to use his knight, as he is gonna lose it for nothing. I guess he was trying to destroy the black's king side by taking away some of the pawns from black, but yeah, that was just a recipe for disaster for white, and will lose that knight for almost nothing. But I guess the only thing that just doubles up the pawns on black, and obviously maybe black might look to exchange, because I guess the pawns are now doubled up, but now white is offering the exchange of pawns, which just helps black. But black decides to just push the pawn a bit further in, which will then help both sides exchange those pawns on the king side, and also just brings the black queen into white's position a bit more, which is a very scary position because you don't like the queen being that up and close and personal with your king. And black taking that free pawn, forking the pawn on c4, as well as the queen. And I don't think white saw that, and that just causes whites to blunder and lose the game with a blunder. Sheesh. But yeah, we have 3 games left going on. We have Rebecca still going up against Calvin, and looking at the advantage bar, and also looking at the position, looking at the time. Well, everything is just on Rebecca's side today. I think she might be a good contender in being this week's winner. So I guess we shall see how this ends. Uh, but yeah, this is a very tight spot for Calvin. This might be GG's any minute from now. Because looking at, he only has 6 seconds on the clock. Unless by some miracle Rebecca blunders, and and then Black maybe finds a way to mate White in 1 second, 1.5 seconds, which is almost impossible. At this point, because I'm pretty sure White will just try to string Black along by pushing that board and also just running down Black's time, and she will take that win with by Black losing time on his side, and that just like puts us to 2 games, which is silly. We did say we are gonna come back to this game, and as looking at the advantage bar, looking at the time, this game is almost evenly matched, but the advantage is to Black. Just because Black still has that rook, while White only has that white square bishop. And at this point, I guess I'll give Black the win. I'll give Black the win, but we shall see what happens. Who knows? Blunders are real in chess. But looking at the advantage bar, it's also on White's side. So yeah, this is pretty much a very tight position for White. I guess White will just look to just progress that pawn on the g file. And if Black is not careful, White could promote this pawn. If Black is not careful. So yeah, I guess he realizes the urgency of the matter and might also just move the rook into a defensive position. Oh, this is pretty tight. This is pretty tight. This is pretty tight for White. Yeah, because it's pretty much over. There's no chance that White could win this match anymore. Any chances of White winning this match are pretty much gone. And yeah, I guess Black might just look to just end this game. Just box him in, and then just mate the guy. So checks him again. Just move your king in. Just move your king a bit closer. I think Black might not know how to mate with the rook and the king. So I guess he just just keep things simple and just mate. So yeah, Sully does resign, and that puts Guili onto 2 wins in the chess series, and with that was the final match of the second round of the Swiss tournament in the second week of the Ekasi Esports chess series powered by Vodacom. And if you guys are seeing those ads, right, I'm sure you can see them on the screen with the red bar. If you'd like to gain access to those promotions that you see, just make sure to visit Vodacom World, because these deals are exclusive to Vodacom World. So yeah, if you guys want to get your hands on that Oppo Reno 5, just make your way to Vodacom World. Also have an esports hub that side too, so if you want to check it out, just head to Vodacom World, which is at Midrand in Johannesburg, if you would like it out. But yeah, so let's go into the third and final round of the Ekasi Esports chess series, and we shall see who's going to take home that 400 rands cash prize for coming out in first. But yeah, so far we have let me just see if I got my math correct, 1 2 3 4 5 players tied for that top spot. So we have Simtande on 2 wins, we have GS Payne, who was last week's winner, onto 2 wins, we have Taps Jr. also onto 2 wins, and we also have Rebecca onto 2 wins, and Guili is also sitting onto 2 wins. So I'm not sure if you can find. So we have GS Payne here. We have GS Payne going up against Rebecca, and this looks to be a very exciting match between the two. GS Payne being the winner of last week, and Rebecca being being one of the, I guess, the top contenders in this week's chess series. And right off rip, White was going in for that attack, but Black is not worried. Black just continues to develop his game, develop her game, and is not threatened by any immediate threats from White. But also White is also developing his game, has both his minor pieces, all his minor pieces in the game, with being the bishops and the knights. Might look to castle just to also strengthen the defense, and make sure that the king is tucked in nicely and safely. And also maybe also castling might also move the queen into the game, connecting the 2 rooks on the on the first rank, but yeah, but Black also further developing her pieces. But yeah, so this so far seems to be a very even game. Also looking at the advantage bar, it's not really giving any side the advantage. Both sides just seem to be, it's a tug of war. That's what's happening on on the left bar. It's a tug of war, and it seems it's going to be a very, very tight match. So we'll be back. We'll be back. I just want to check out another match between the two of the contenders of for that first place position, which is Taps Jr. and Gwili, who both won both of their matches in the first and second round, and we'll also look into winning this match here. So we might be seeing maybe 2 or 3 players fighting for that top spot. So we might have tiebreakers. We might have to go into tiebreakers today again for that top spot, which will be very interesting going forward. But yeah. But looking at the position so far, Mkweli does seem to have the advantage. Looking at that left bar, which is in Mkweli's favor. And also just looking at the position. Black's king side is almost non-existent. There are no pawns protecting the king. The king is doing a world tour around on the board, and that really is a tough spot because no one likes to have their king being in the game this early, because the king does get kicked around from position from square to square, right? And that just gives the other side more time to focus on developing their game and establishing a better attack, and just establishing a better way to just end the game. So yeah, this is a very, very tight spot for Black, and yeah, Black just has to find a way just to get the king away for now. Just tuck him away safe and sound. Probably try to get into the queen side where at least the pawns are still there, because the king side is pretty much non-existent, and I guess that's Black's fault, for pushing too early those G and H pawns. So yeah, as you can see, the advanced bar is almost completely white, putting white at the advantage. So yeah, I guess we'll come back to this match and see how it develops with time. But yeah, let's go up against Suli and Simtande. Simtande also being another contender for that first spot. Simtande looking at the position here, because both sides seem to be even. Looking at the time, also looking at the piece count, both sides seem to be even. They both have exchanged both of their bishops. They only have one knight left, and yeah, it just seems to be a tug of war. I guess the main weakness for white are those doubled up pawns on the E file and also on the B file, which obviously Black has helped, graciously by taking away that pawn on E4, which just leaves that pawn on E3 isolated with no partner in front of him anymore. But yeah, I guess white might, and Black, by taking that pawn, has now causing a discovered attack on the white queen, but also Black retaliates by checking the king on the G file. But then obviously white just loses white just loses that rook for almost nothing. He exchanges the rook for the knight, but I guess that's not a good exchange, because the knight is only worth 3 points, and the threat of the rook is just a bit more significant as compared to the threat of a knight, especially during the end game, because right now we're in the mid game. We just want to make sure that you have your rooks in the game, because those do dominate the mid and the end game. So yeah, this seems to be very tight. And also looking at Black's position, Black owns the center. Black is owning the board. The only piece that is present on the center, or which was present, was the queen. But obviously you can't depend, because the queen has to be super active. It has to be the most proactive piece in this game. So because that's the only thing that's helping white stay in the game at the moment. So I guess we will see how this game matures on, but I guess my prediction is that Black concludes it, and we end it, and it ends up with Black probably winning, which is Suli. But yeah, so I guess we can check another game. Let's check it out from oh, okay. I guess we just jumped in the game and the match is already over against Moulinet and against Hish. Hish giving up the game by resignation. I guess let's just like analyze the board in this situation and see why he decided to resign so early. And I think it's, Black did have a fighting chance, even though looking at the position, it's pretty much dead. And Black did lose the queen early. Okay, I guess yeah. By losing the queen so early, I guess that causes yeah. You just resign. You just call it quits. Put down your pieces, and yeah, it's pretty much over. Because, like I said, the queen is an important piece on both sides because it can turn the games. It can turn the game around. That quick. And just jumping into Tabs Junior's match against Nguili, who are both fighting for that first position. Might I add, Nguili does seem to have the advantage, possession wise. And as you can see, White is deep into Black's territory. Yeah, this is pretty much tight. It's a very, very tight spot. But Black only having one rook, while White still has both rooks on the board. White has his black square bishop still well in the game, applying a lot of pressure, especially in the center of the board, and also eyeing down that c7 square. This is very, very tight for White. Oh, that was a great move. Might also take that knight for free on the g5 square. Oof. This is very tight for Black. Yeah, this is very tight for Black. He just lost the knight for almost nothing. My bad. That's my bad. That was an exchange. I guess I didn't see the rook on g8 there, which also helps exchange, and as well establishing a threat onto the queen. But the queen going for the check, and Black resigns for resignation. I guess the checkmate was White was about to mate, and there was nothing that Black could do in this position. So I guess that puts Nguili on the top spot with 3 out of 3 wins. But it's not over yet. Simtande as well as GS Payne are still playing their match, as well as Rebecca, who's also still playing their final round. So we shall see what happens here. Like I said, this could be a 3-way tie for that top spot. So we shall see how this game continues. Let's just jump on to GS Payne against Rebecca. And looking at the board, that advantage bar is in White's favor. GS Payne going up against Rebecca. And yeah, this is very, very tight. This is a very interesting game. Let me just say that GS Payne is rated 800 on chess.com, right? While Rebecca does seem to be a very experienced player. She is rated just above 1800, and she is in a very tight spot here. So I don't know, maybe GS Payne is just that good. Maybe he just doesn't play, on the chess.com website as much. Maybe he just plays on other platforms, or is just prefers playing in real life. Maybe he prefers feeling the pieces a bit more and doesn't really like playing on the chess.com app. But we shall see how this progresses further in. This game is not over yet though. I'm not going to count Rebecca out as yet because I feel like she can make a comeback, but unless if GS Payne decides to keep on fighting a bit hard. But yeah, just looking at this, Sully is fighting. So now this has ended up being a pawn game, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. This is the end game, the pawn game. And looking at this, both positions, Black has progressed. Black has the C, D, and E pawns connected, but has pushed the C pawn and was fighting for the exchange. But White denies by pushing the B pushing the B pawn onto B4. I think Black will just take that pawn, exchange both pawns, and this will be a race. But obviously Black is well ahead of that race of promoting into a queen, and I guess this is pretty much over for White. If I was white, I would have really tried to go for that exchange early. But yeah, even looking at the advantage bar earlier, the advantage bar was on black side. And yeah, white decides to resign, giving black the win, giving Sully the win. And that puts a lot of players onto 2 points. So I guess there's going to be another battle. Yeah, there's going to be a battle between. So now the only battle that's left is the battle between GS Payne and Rebecca. These two are battling for that top spot, but like I said, the game is pretty tight. But GS Payne is well into black's territory. This is very tight. This is very tough for black. Black is on the ropes. First time today, black is on the ropes. Yeah, this is pretty much a really, really tough spot. I don't think black could recover from this. Yeah, because just looking at the position, white is deep into black's territory. But looking at black's position, she is just trying to play defensively right now. She's just trying to hold on for old time's sake. So yeah, I guess we shall see how this game further develops as it moves forward. Hooey. And I guess we can just jump into the other match, which is AP Yes Sir against Slamy. I'm sure. Yeah, Slamy. And looking at the advantage bar, it's in black's. It's on black side. As black is up, a rook, but white does still have that knight on the board as well. Let me just look at what position they are on the leaderboard. Slamy being in 11th, and Yes Sir being in Yes Sir is in 11th position, and also AP Yes Sir is in 11th position, and Slamy is also in 11th position. So I guess this is the tiebreaker to decide who's going to be on top and who's going to be at the bottom, or who's going to be below the other. So most of the games are done. These are the only 2 games that are happening, and so far Mgwili is at the top with 3 out of 3 games. And then we have Rebecca against GS Payne, who are also fighting for that second place position. We have Taps Jr., who's currently occupying that second place position. So we shall see how this further develops into. We shall see who will go into who. So, this seems like the winner of this match between Rebecca and GS Payne will be a match. Will be a match between. This will be a match between GS Payne against Mgwili in the final round, because they'll fight for that top spot. Rebecca taking that second spot with Taps Jr. So Taps Jr. and Taps Jr. will have to play Rebecca for that final spot. They'll have to play a tiebreaker. Mgwili will have to play a tiebreaker with GS Payne. So we shall see how this is concluded as the rounds are over. We still have one match happening against Slamy and Yes Sir, so we'll just jump into that match just to see how that further develops. But like I said, white does seem to be at the advantage here. I guess why white should just oh my god, wait, before we left, black was at the advantage here, but now it seems like white is gonna just mate in mate in 1. This is going to be a mate in 1. This is pretty much over for black. By putting his king there, this is over. He has surrendered. This is a checkmate. So I guess this is going to conclude the 3rd week. This is going to conclude the Swiss tournament of this week. So we'll just have to. So we're just going to jump into a quick break, so that we can just get the tiebreakers going, and we will jump into the action as soon as the tiebreakers are over. So yeah, we'll be back. Just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.